this morning as the senior pastor to give you my quarterly report. And just so you understand how this works, we have a church organization that is the elder council, is the board over the church. And there are 3 executives of the board that are accountable to the board for different areas of ministry. So Jim Vestigo in the area of the business administration, all the support staff and the business aspects of the church. And Zach Davidson over the school ministry, and myself over the other, what we call the ministries of the church. These are exciting days at Damascus Community Church as we lean into future opportunities we have to shine as a light for Christ in our community and beyond, around the world to the uttermost parts. Walking in truth, living out love, building on faith. These are the visions that we have. And so I oversee, first of all, spiritual growth ministries. And what's weird, Rick, is I can't see it back there, but so, yeah, there we go. This is our technology. Usually it's run from back there and it shows back there, so I know it isn't happening. So it's there. Spiritual growth ministries. Children's ministries, we're engaged now in that review of Angela Karch as our children's ministry director, and from my perspective, we should all be excited about that, to see a greater focus on reaching our children for Christ, because we know that the best opportunity to reach others for Christ is from up to the age of 12. And our focus on youth is great, but we need to focus on children's ministry, so we're grateful to see movement in that direction. Thank you goes to Terry Huggins, who has been helping with the Sunday school on a part-time basis, and to all of our nursery staff and our teachers. We just have a great crew. Thank you to all of them. Youth ministries, we have a junior high retreat coming up next weekend, and summer camps are in sight with regular youth meetings and activities going on, so that ministry is full speed ahead. Thanks go to our many youth volunteers who make that happen. Our Awana Ministries, under the capable direction of Lauren and Catherine Unruh, and continues to help our kids memorize and apply Scripture in a fun environment that they enjoy. So we're grateful for that ministry and all those volunteers who are a part of it. Thanks goes to Pastor John, who is gifted in oversight and vision for these ministries, and to the dozens of volunteers that make it happen. We have several Bible studies, small groups, and of course community groups where people gather regularly to study and build relationships. And I'm going to talk about the importance of those relationships in the message today. They're the way we nurture faith in one another. These take Scripture beyond just an intellectual pursuit, which would make it mere religion, to life application. And without life application, all we are is religious people. We don't want to be that. God doesn't want us to be that. He wants us to be more. Thanks to Dan Wagner, who's taken over as our community group director and is helping out with those ministries. We have men's and women's ministries that include special events and accountability groups intended to strengthen and encourage each of us toward spiritual growth and victories. We have just learned this week, we have over 20 of our men are involved in Accountable to You, which is a way we hold each other accountable on electronic media for what we're seeing there, holding one another accountable to have pure eyes. And so we're grateful for those kind of things. To the women's ministry leadership team and to the guys who are investing in that kind of help to one another, thank you very much. We're also excited now to have an illustration of the discipleship process. There it is. Look at that. Toward which all these ministries aim. Discovery, discipline, deploy, destiny, describe the process we should all be in, we should all know our place in, and as I'll talk about today, we are not finished, any of us, unless you're not breathing today. Is everybody breathing? Then God's not done with you. So you're still in the growth process, somewhere in that discipleship process. And finally, I need to mention the school ministry, DCS. It doesn't fall directly under my responsibility as senior pastor. However, it is perhaps our most consistent and opportune ministry for pursuing our mission 5 days a week with over 200 students. So pray for Zach, pray for Doug, our incoming assistant principal, pray for our great faculty, that God will continue to bless and lead and guide them. I need to talk about caring ministries. That's another thing that's under my purview. It involves all we do to care for one another. Informally, this happens regularly as you just love one another and care for one another in multiplied ways through relationships. Formally, we've expanded our visitation team. We're training new Stephen ministers. Other Stephen ministers continue to care for care receivers, and we have sought to increase our access to the resources of the body through the resource survey, which you have responded well to, and we have that now to use as we seek to care for one another. Thanks go to our Caring Ministries Director, Marianne Wallace, and all those who are involved in those ministries of caring for one another. We had a great example yesterday with the many who helped with Bob's memorial service. What a blessing it was. Thank you for so many who do that. Our worship ministries continue to involve those with gifts in music and scripture reading. Pastor Kyle is preparing to take a sabbatical, and many will step up to help lead in his absence. We have this great team up here today. Aren't they wonderful? Right? Of course, our vision is to encourage lives of worship. It isn't just about what we do here. It's about developing lives that are lived for the worship of Christ. And so, thanks to Pastor Kyle and those who continue to press us in that way. Outreach ministries reach both our neighbors and around the world. Under Pastor Andy and the many who are involved in Barnabas teams, we are seeking to pursue outreach strategies that will involve more of us directly in ministry. So you'll see in the bulletin today, there's an insert about the BAM Center under Tom Basile, and on the back side, the ministry Barnabas team that is part of Tom Basile and Sandy's support accountability piece. And so those who are on there as Barnabas, they've been down there and they've worked with Tom. I mean, this is what we're trying to foster, is our involvement, not just missionaries going out, but our involvement with them through the Barnabas teams and actually going to do ministry with them. So we're grateful for that. We continue to seek to cultivate a mission mindset through our youth ministry at our school with our young people, so that whatever career they pursue, they will have missions on their mind. I want to talk briefly about the transition plan next. That is our transition from my role as senior pastor to Pastor Andy, who's our senior pastor-elect, for lack of a better term. I'm not going to say much about the plan because it's posted. It's posted out in the foyer. It's posted in the office window. It's posted in Andy's office and my office. We're on track. That's all I want to say, is we're on track. So if you look at that transition plan, you'll know what to expect. You'll know what's coming, because we're just following it and seeking to make sure the ministries of Damascus Community Church just move steadily forward. Now I need to talk a moment about building on faith. As you know, the Elder Council received a report from Influencing Generations for Christ. That's the organization we've partnered with to gain some help, some consultation, some insight. Thank you. They have done surveys and have done focus groups that have involved, in some measure, all of you have had the opportunity to be involved. And you have resoundingly spoken. We've heard from a number of you, a large percentage from this body responded. You're engaged with us, and we just say thank you. Thank you for your input. Thank you for helping us understand where we're at and where we need to move. So for that strong response, many of us are anxious to do something about our facilities. Not only has that been expressed to me personally, but that was evident in the survey works that we did, and we have a concept plan for future development, moving that direction, and aware of unsuccessful past attempts by Damascus Community Church to build, and aware of our own inexperience as a board, we enlisted IGC to advise us, and we feel it is in the best interest of the church and wise stewardship to listen carefully and weigh your input and the input from the experts at IGC. The report was very affirming, and much of the work we've been focusing on has received 80% plus approval from all of those on the staff, the DCC congregation, DCS families. So we're unified in our transition plan, our leadership development, and in working towards facilities improvement. However, IGC recommends the board do some additional work in the area of communication to clarify with all the constituents and all the stakeholders before we launch a capital campaign for a new building. And so our purpose, our direction, as well as our facilities all need further communication. There's a need to build unity on the basis of our common mission and both in the church and school, and there are several specific things they've recommended the board do before the official launch of a capital campaign. Most of those things we've already been working on, such as the clarification of our discipleship process. So we're already on that page. We're already working on those things. We don't know exactly when the fundraising campaign will be launched. However, several of you are already giving regularly to the designated fund, which is the Facilities Development Fund. And I just want to say thank you. You're engaged already in moving us forward financially, and we appreciate you. We appreciate your gifts. If anyone's interested, we are moving forward with facilities development, and you can give now, if you'd like, through the designated Facilities Development Fund. Just write that on an envelope or the check or whatever, and you're welcome to begin giving now. We are moving forward. Thank you for your gifts, but we've emphasized prayer. You know, we need God's wisdom. And so we have said, and we firmly believe that what we really need as a priority at this time is for the body to be praying, that we will, in fact, remain unified and move forward together. Building programs are oftentimes the demise of churches because the focus is moved towards brick and mortar. It's moved towards the building. We want the ministry to remain our focus. We're here to accomplish something for Jesus Christ, and we'll do that in our present facilities until God leads us clearly into future facilities. So, thank you for being supportive. In the meantime, we're improving. Over spring break, our fencing was improved for the playground security. Now it's completely fenced in. It hasn't been in all the years I've been here, so we're grateful because of that highway there. It's a constant threat. So we're grateful for improvement of the fencing. We fixed the catwalk, which was in danger of collapsing, so that's been repaired. And if you go into the gym, you'll notice that that lighting has been completely redone. The whole building lighting has been done with new LED lights, and we figure over the next 5 years we'll save in the utilities costs, what it costs to put those in. And they're brighter, which makes the walls look like they need painting. So, there you go. So we're maintaining this, and I liken it to maintaining your old car, right? So you maintain your car. You change the oil, you put in new spark plugs, you change the tires and so forth, and you keep driving that car. But I'm telling you, someday, the wheels are going to fall off that old car. Someday, it's just going to have to be replaced. So that's where we are with our facilities. You know, we've really worn them out, and we're continuing to maintain, but there are some areas that are just going to be breaking points at some time. So we're going to continue to press forward. Again, all these are positive, exciting days for DCC, and it remains a great privilege to serve the Lord by serving his flock here. Thank you for that privilege on behalf of the other pastors, who I know they all appreciate serving here. Thank you for giving us that opportunity.